Tracy Hunter. Hunter had earlier been convicted of a felony count of unlawful interest in a public contract in 2014 and given the 6-month sentence. The case was linked to an incident in which the Associated Press reports Hunter shared a confidential document with her brother, who faced a disciplinary hearing in his government job. Her attorney maintained she did nothing illegal, yet she was convicted and her appeals denied. The sentence was delayed to allow for Hunter's appeal, but she ended up losing, which prompted Monday's hearing. Supporters wearing t-shirts bearing the ex-judge's name screamed out after the sentence was handed down. Video showed people jumping out of their seats and yelling at the judge and court staff. A woman wearing a Justice for Judge Hunter shirt rushed at officers after the sentencing and was quickly taken into custody. In the chaos, Hunter, showing little emotion, when deputies approached Hunter to remove her from the courtroom, she went limp and was dragged out of court. Brain Taylor. Can you sing your way out of a prison sentence? Probably not, but that didn't stop Brian Earl Taylor from trying. Taylor, 21, had a sentencing for unlawful imprisonment and carrying a concealed weapon. He was arrested in November after police found him struggling with another man and holding a gun to his abdomen in Ypsilanti, Michigan. At the time of his arrest, police said Taylor had multiple felony warrants and was on parole. Washtenaw County Trial Court Judge Darlene O'Brien told CNN that in criminal cases, defendants have a right to say something before their sentencing. To plead his case, Taylor broke out in an apologetic song with original lyrics that seemed to be inspired by Adele's Hello in an Ann Arbor, Michigan court.
I wanna say I'm sorry for the things I've done. I'm sorry. Oh.
In his song, Taylor also apologized to the victim and his mother. After he finished, he asked for a shorter sentence of 36 months, but his crimes warranted a much longer sentence. Taylor's talent apparently didn't help his case. He has been sentenced up to 17 years in prison. Anthony Redding. Anthony Redding, 49, made intimidating gestures to the jury as the guilty verdict was announced in Union County Common Pleas Court. Death sentence. That's what I got, Redding can be heard saying on the courtroom video. Redding then called a sheriff's deputy Satan, and he ripped open his buttoned shirt. The judge ordered Redding to be placed in restraints for his sentencing after he shouted a list of profanities at the judge. A jury convicted Redding for punching his girlfriend in her eye during an argument in February, which resulted in the victim losing her eye. Fraser ruled Redding was a repeat violent offender due to past convictions for aggravated assault in 2015 and felonious assault in 2008. Court documents also showed Fraser ruled Redding showed no genuine remorse for his actions. Redding received the maximum sentence of 18 years in prison. Vanessa Dixon. Bass Webb, 30, was in court to face accusation that he tried to run over Deputy Ryan Barkley and pre-trial officer Josh Mason as they stood outside the Bourbon County Jail. District Judge Vanessa Dixon, who serves Bourbon, Scott, and Woodford counties, recused herself from the case because she knows Barkley and Mason. Bass didn't like that she told him she was done with him. Webb then spit in Dixon's face. Vanessa can be seen shocked after that and asked deputies to charge him. Deputies escorted Webb out of the courtroom, but no charges have been filed in relation to the spitting. Rebecca Doherty. The Ohio Supreme Court had publicly reprimanded a Portage County judge accused of using her position to avoid being arrested for drunk driving. Doherty had been drinking before driving her SUV into a ditch along Interstate 76 in February. Doherty, who police say admitted that she had been drinking, said several times that she was a judge. According to police, Doherty performed only one field sobriety test and refused a breathalyzer test. Doherty pleaded guilty to DUI 5 days later and was sentenced to 3 days in a driver's intervention program. Her driver's license was suspended until February of this year, but the judge granted her limited driving privileges. Jessica Boomershine. This is Jessica Boomershine. She was sentenced to 25 to 30.5 years in prison in connection to the burglary, robbery, and kidnapping of an 85-year-old man who was forced into his trunk and left at a waste facility. Jessica Boomershine, 43, was sentenced Friday morning in Montgomery County Common Pleas Court in Dayton, Ohio. While Boomershine was in a holding area in the jail, she attempted an escape through the ceiling. She was pulled from the ceiling and fell. Jessica Boomershine didn't make it far, though. Surveillance video shows her trying to climb a pipe against the wall of a holding room at the Montgomery County Jail. She reaches the ceiling but then crashes through the tiles and is left suspended, her pants falling down as deputies grab her just before she falls into a trash can. Jennifer Edwards. Judge Jennifer Edwards was hearing a domestic violence complaint against Melissa Hardwick filed by her estranged husband, but the hearing took an unexpected turn when Melissa Hardwick was handed a 10-day sentence, prompting her to lunge across the bench and security to rush in. Surveillance video of the incident shows Hardwick's husband explaining why he filed the order. Hardwick then interrupts and refuses to stop talking after the judge warns her she would be held in contempt for disobeying her order to do so. But that didn't seem to make a blind bit of difference to angry Melissa, who just carried on chit-chatting. Making good on her threat, the judge promptly handed her a 10-day sentence. Suddenly, Melissa threw herself at the judge, lunging in, fist first. Hardwick was taken down by 3 security officers. Edwards was not hurt in the incident. Hardwick suffered facial scratches. Hardwick was then sentenced to 120 days in jail for contempt of court for the incident, and now she faces separate charges of third-degree terroristic threatening, intimidating a participant in the legal process, and resisting arrest. Her bond is set at $25,000. Judge Edwards ruled after the incident that the domestic violence order filed by Hardwick's husband would remain. Jason Howard. This is Jason Howard. He was facing trial for killing his ex-girlfriend and her 3 children. While he stood handcuffed in a courtroom, one man reached over the banister that separates attorneys from the public to beat the defendant, and another man jumped the banister and punched Howard after court officers pulled off the first attacker. Howard, 24, tried to dodge the punches. He is shown on the video sitting speechless after both attackers were restrained. Hanzu is a cousin, and West is a brother of Jamelia West, 27, who was slain in Columbus in June with her daughter. That was it for today's video. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to our channel and hit the like button.